Welcome back.
Hi, you guys. Hi, you guys. Welcome back to a new episode of Too Much with Shey
and Becca. Hey guys, how are y'all? Welcome back to this week. Y'all went crazy on last week's episode. It was like 105 views, but the ratio to likes and comments was a little off, a little shaky.
Well, I want to thank all our viewers. If you are a reoccurring viewer, we appreciate you. If this is your first time here, we hope you stay. We have a lot of fun topics to discuss. And as always, the name of this podcast is Too Much because we talk about a lot of things. Our range is
Limitless.
Large. So, feel free to move to whatever section you care about. We talk about news, sports, social media topics. So we have everything for you, okay? Please watch us, like, comment, share, subscribe. We are open to all the discussions. And yeah, like Rebecca said, please make sure you like our videos. Stop right now, check if you are subscribed, because sometimes as an avid YouTube watcher, sometimes I be thinking that I be subscribed because people's videos pop up on my feed, and then I check and I'm like, oh, I'm actually not subscribed. So we're grateful, thankful, but please do subscribe. And as always, we are going to get started with our weekly rundown. What's happening? What was happening in your week, Rebecca?
I always have to think about it because, it's like, when your week is happening, you just you never sit there and you're like, well, I should be like that. But for me, it's mainly thoughts that I have. So this week, your girl been scrolling a little bit on TikTok and everything like that. And Shayla, have you seen this video of the deer putting hooves to skin?
Absolutely. Now we're different sides of TikTok.
Girl, there's this video that everybody's talking about on TikTok of this deer whooping this lady's behind. I swear to you, it is the funniest thing. And it's it shouldn't be funny, but it's let me show y'all the video real quick. Because literally, I've been talking to everyone about this deer because this ain't normal. Deer fighting with lady. Look. And the thing that makes it even funnier is the cameraman did not move. He actually zoomed in. It's the reason why everybody is talking about it, because what did you do to that deer for him to really or I think it's a girl deer, but for it to literally put hooves to skin. That deer showed her the doe, the ray, and the me. I've never seen nothing like this in my life. And I asked people at work, I was like, what would y'all do if a deer was attacking y'all like this? I was and so I was like, oh, baby, we would have deer burgers for the year. I'd be making deer bone broth. I'm not, what? That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. The next thing I wanted to talk about, so as I mentioned, a lot of things been happening on my TikTok. So Shayla, imagine when we went on our first flight. My flight with you when we went to the Bahamas, and there's a delay, and they let this little girl get on the intercom and just start singing to us. Have you seen this video?
I have seen that.
Shayla, I'm not gonna lie to you, they would have to take me off. That would have been my 13th, 14th, and 15th reason. Why did y'all let this little
girl? Y'all be so bothered over anything. I would just be like, what is happening? But I would just
be
not be that bothered.
Shayla, you are so excited to get to your destination, either coming to or going to or whatever.
Right.
And all I hear is, huh? Baby.
I mean, I would not be happy, but I'm not about to. It's not gonna be my 13th reason why. There's other things that could take me out before someone's singing.
I'm already happy to go where I'm going, or I'm ready to get back home and just decompress. And then all I hear is this little girl on the intercoms just singing her life away. And it's crazy. I just know she got off that flight and just felt so accomplished and proud of herself. Little girl, move. Move. Well, other than
Girl.
that, those are the two things I saw on social media I just wanted to talk about. Aside from that, my week's been good in the current process of planning my birthday. And, that is stressful within itself. It is Gemini season. So if you are a Gemini, shout out to us because can't nobody do it like us. Okay.
Shout out to y'all. Shout out to
Mhm.
y'all.
Then you always got a different sign hating on us.
I'm not hating. All I said was is
Mm.
Gemini season. That's right. So for my week, over the weekend, I went to Cape May for the first time. As you know, we are Jersey girls. And I've never been to Cape May. And apparently, Cape May, well, not apparently, it's like exit 0 on, I don't know if it's the Garden State Parkway or what, but the fact that it was exit 0 was crazy to me. And it's considered South Jersey. I'm from North Jersey. So South Jersey seems like a completely different concept. And if you're not from Jersey, you may be wondering, like, oh, you guys probably go there all the time. No, not really. I feel like all the popping things is here in North Jersey, so there's really no need for me to go all the way over there. But it was cute. I went for my friend's birthday. I did not get in the water because the weather has been acting out. We're literally about to reach June and you still need a coat. It's been raining. It's insane.
All right, so Shayla is dragging it a little bit. You don't need a coat, but you do
Yes,
need
you
your
do.
sweater. You get cold easily, so you might need a
Well,
whole.
this is my truth of my week.
Okay,
Okay, thank
right?
you.
You got it. You got it.
So I went to K May and that was nice. We ate some pizza. I think we have better pizza up here, but it was a vibe. It was something that I feel like you should experience because I feel like people know Cape May. It's like people go there for vacation or whatever. So it was cute. Um, I went to a New York Liberty game yesterday. It was a very close game against the Valkyries. So that was exciting. You guys know I'm all about the WNBA. We will talk about the NBA later in the episode, but it was nice. It was my first game of this season. So the Lady Liberty is looking real good. And hopefully we can win the championship again. But no pressure. We won last year, so I'm okay with it. I want to talk about, since you were talking a lot about what you've been seeing on TikTok. I was kind of triggered because I saw this white lady discover a greca. Do you know what a greca is?
The thing for your coffee.
Exactly. So she discovered a greca, and it kind of gave when Hailey-Bieber tried to put people on into the lip liner, and she made it seem like it was a discovery when it's like, girl, that's been a thing. And just because a white girl, and Deanna, and if you're watching, girl, we not hating on white people. We love white people. But it's just, huh?
Nothing. I said.
Okay. So the moral of the story is I saw this lady and she was calling it like a contraption. And have you guys ever seen this? It's da-da-da-da. And I grew up always using a greca. My mom, coffee is a very big thing in Caribbean culture. Every time you go to a house, baby, you will be offered coffee. It doesn't matter if you go through to 5 people's house. If you enter, they're gonna ask, "Do you want coffee?" And so I just hate to see the greca be gentrified. Hopefully, no one else sees it, and because I don't mind people figuring out what a greca is, but when you get on social media and you act like you discovered something that has been a thing for ages, it does kind of, it rubbed me the wrong way. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's like you trying hard not to look at them sideways, but it's just like.
So I'm happy that she discovered the greca because it is true. Greca makes the best coffee ever, in my opinion. Keurig could never, an espresso machine, none of that. You just need a little greca. And we love that people are finding out about it, but let's not act like it's something new.
And I wanted to talk about, we're mentioning all the stuff we're seeing on social media because these are not going to be topics in our social corner. So I wanted to talk to you real quick. So remember when I went to Puerto Rico, right? And I was like, Shayla, the whole time I'm thinking it's birds. And Shayla was like, no, like that's the frogs that are
Cookies.
native to the country. And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, okay. Cause I was like, oh, these things, they just be talking all day. Right. But it didn't really like, it didn't bother me or hinder my experience or anything like that. I was just
Mhm.
curious as to like, I'm like, yo, what is that? Right. So there's been this conversation that's happening on TikTok right now. What do you guys call it again, Shayla? The
Call
frog
what? Coqui.
Koki,
Coqui.
right?
Mhm.
So apparently there's a conversation happening right now because there's some tourists that went to Puerto Rico and they were basically like, it was like more of like a Reddit post of this person like overhearing a conversation about these people talk about they want to spray the cookies and like just to basically shut them up because they just keep like, I guess, making noises
Yeah,
the
they
whole
make a lot of noise.
right. So people are like visibly upset because they're like, how you come to a country or what? Yeah,
An
like you
island.
come to this island and you go sit there and get mad that animals that are native to the island are making noise, and it's just like Bad Bunny ended up posting like a video of like a 15-second sound on his story of like basically the coqui making the noise and stuff like that. And a lot of people are like outraged because they're like, why would you even come to a country, a island? I keep saying country. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I think it's just a very American thing where it's like when you come to America, you are expected to assimilate and switch yourself up to make Americans comfortable. And so when they go, not all, I'm not generalizing, but when
Mhm.
people like this go to other islands and they realize, oh, these people are not going to accommodate for me and my lifestyle, and what I'm used to, it's kind of like a trigger for them. Like, what do you mean you're making this noise and I have to sleep? Girl, go back to America then if you so pressed about it. The last thing I want to mention before we move into our news topic is I know Rebecca is dying for me to bring this topic up, but I'm going to keep it real general. This is going to be called dating debacles or dating questions, or how would you feel if this happened to you? So I'm going to give you guys a scenario and comment down below what you would do. Okay. So let's say you meet somebody on a dating app. You guys agree to go on the date, and the date is just to, first of all, they offer you, oh, do you want to go to a fancy restaurant? And you said, you know what? How about we just go for a walk and eat pliables? That's what the date, we bumped it down a notch. Okay, great. You go on the walk, and as you're finishing up the walk, the person is like, oh, do you want to go watch a basketball game? And you're like, oh, sure. You get in the car, and they ask, oh, where you want to go? I said, well, I want to still get my pliable. And they're like, okay, let's figure out where we're gonna go. They picked a spot where they're gonna go to watch said game, and you're like, okay, well, if you want, I could just meet you at the place where you want to watch the game, and I'll go get the pliable. And they proceed to agree to that agreement. Keep in mind, this is the first time you're ever meeting this person, and they decide to let you go eat a pliable alone while they go ahead and go watch the game. How would you feel about that? Comment down below. We appreciate all takes. And after you guys respond, I will respond to that response in next week's episode.
I also wanted to ask a question because, like Shayla and I have said in the past, dating, especially in this day and age, baby,
Ghetto.
tragic.
But it's going to be real tea. Please comment down below. How would you feel if you agreed to go on a playa date and the person leaves you to go get the playa boat alone?
Right.
So
So
the half of the date is really a solo date.
honestly, and I said this to Shayla when she mentioned the story to me in the first place. And I was just like, the reason I really feel like some of these men, and I'm talking
Yeah.
about for us in our experience of trying
Mm-hmm.
to date men, it's like they think lemonade is piss. Like, there's no way. Like, how it, like, sometimes I really ask myself, like, when y'all have y'all first initial thought of what I want to send to this girl, because I want to talk to her and stuff like that, where in your mind do the wires cross, connect, create electricity, power your body, and type some of the foolishness that y'all do? Because imagine someone, and it's like, I need some men to really think like this. Imagine someone, you have a daughter, you love your daughter, you want the best thing for your daughter, and someone hits your daughter up, and you over here telling them you looking for like a guy tells them, I'm looking for a little vibe. They ask, what do you consider a little vibe? And you say, smoking, chilling, as someone I could smack from the back.
The
Like,
bar is just so low. Like, common sense seems to not be common. And I know that's a cliche phrase, but every day it just continues to be proven. Common sense ain't common. And on that note, let's move into our news segment, Rebecca.
yes,
What's been
yes,
happening in the
yes.
headlines?
So one of the things we wanted to talk about is, if y'all remember that scene with Oprah where she was like, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Trump was doing that with the pardons. Okay. So
Mhm.
on Wednesday, President Donald Trump wiped the convictions and cut sentences for more than 24 people, including political allies, a rapper, the co-founder of a Chicago gang who was serving multiple life sentences for violent crimes. The most known people are reality TV stars Julie Chrisley and Todd Chrisley from Chrisley's Know Best. A judge had handed down sentences of 12 years for Todd Chrisley and 7 years for his wife, Julie Chrisley, in November of 2022, after an Atlanta jury found them guilty of fraud, tax evasion, and conspiracy to defraud the United States. Following a weeks long federal trial, Cantrell, which you also know him as NBA Youngboy, he pled guilty in December to possessing weapons as a felony. In total, there were 20 plus people.
That were
Pardon,
pardoned.
right? And when I saw this, I was just like, because every day it was like, well, not every day, but it's like every time I refreshed on Instagram or anything like that,
Mhm.
it was a new announcement of somebody being pardoned. I was just like, dad, he just handed these things out. Like, I'm like, what's the process like? Like, and my whole thing is, we are so hell bent as a society right now of getting violent, right? That's what we like to quote it as, violent immigrants out of the United States and bringing them back to whatever countries they came from. But the one I want to talk about is, you let out a Chicago gang leader who was convicted of multiple violent crimes. And it's just like, where do you set the bar, right? Where what do you consider, okay, you should get some leniency, and then where do you need to go back where you came from? Like, where do you set the bar? Because I'm just not seeing it. Because if these are the rules we're trying to apply to the whole United States of America, who, like, unless y'all, if y'all get where I'm trying to get at, because we see what these new, like, these limitations, these, I'm gonna send you back, who they're aimed to, but we see who they allowing back out. I'm just saying, listen,
Yeah.
I never cared for NBA Youngboy. I know a lot of people love him. And so I
Mhm.
saw a lot of people celebrating the fact that he came out. I used to watch Chrisley's Know Best with my mama, and we used to be cracking up. Todd, he is a character. And ever since that they've been announced out, Savannah ain't never took that hat off. Okay. Make America Great, but stamped on her forehead. I ain't never seen the hat come off. And I'm just like, all right, girl, we get it. We get it.
So, if you don't know what a pardon is, I'm sure now, like with context clues, you have already gotten the hint. But a pardon is a form of executive power that exempts a person from punishment for a criminal conviction. It can be granted before or after conviction, and can be issued after a sentence has been served. So, here's my thing, right? To Rebecca's point, you know, Trump is very big on removing criminals from America, boom, boom, boom. But of course, we all know it is very obvious that rule is only in place if you are a minority. And not even a minority. If you are, I guess, undocumented, or if you are here and aren't you aren't on the good side of Trump, right? Because he also picks and chooses the people that he automatically like goes blind for and doesn't care about crime.
Mhm.
I was more surprised by the public's reaction. My feed is very much people that are anti-Trump. And when I saw that these reality star people were released, I was seeing a lot of people like, oh, thank God they were released and shout out to Trump and boom, boom, boom. I'm like, you guys are all of a sudden going blind for all the craziness that Trump stands for because he let go a reality star. Like, let us be for real. I understand that, we look at reality TV stars as like, they help me, they bring me peace, or when I'm stressed, like I look to them to kind of ease my mind. But if your standards are that low that he can immediately get your vote because he released one of your faves, it is actually embarrassing, and we need to do better. We need to actually care about real issues. We need to care about real issues. I don't care if you let go a criminal, if you are passing laws and legislation that are actively working towards me and my people. I'm more worried about being able to own a home, being able to afford health insurance, having affordable child care. Like, those are the things that I care about. Not that these people got out. That's very much weird. And as a society, especially the youth, our people, like in our 20s, because we are the future. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to feel the consequences more. We need to do better. Point blank, period.
And I don't get me wrong, I 1,000% agree with you. But like I said, I remember when this whole thing was happening with the Chrisleys and they were about to go to jail. I was like, dag, like we can't look past this, you know? But like they've been I think they've been in jail for like what, 2 years so far? I think. I don't know how long. They've been in there for like either a year plus, whatever. I forgot about them. And like now that they came out, I'm like, okay. It's just like the way these people are deriding. Talk about thank you so much to President Donald J. Trump. I'm like, oh my God, get a room. Like that's what it's giving. I'm like,
Well, if you don't deride, he's not going to help you. So that's that on that. The next thing that we want to talk about is another move that the United States is making. If you are someone that thinks that Donald Trump is not a racist, well, this is the latest move. And you tell me, because maybe I'm crazy. You know what I mean? Because
yo,
maybe I'm just crazy.
that was a question.
So this is from NBC News. It says the United States will start aggressively revoking the visas of Chinese students. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Wednesday, including those with connections to the ruling Chinese Communist Party or studying in critical fields. The announcement is the latest move in the Trump administration's campaign against U.S. university and international students, in particular after it revoked thousands of students' visas, detained or deported other students over political activism, and sought to bar international students from enrolling at Harvard University. So here's the thing. President Trump has made it his mission to fight against and make life impossible for those that he does not like. He makes it very clear, because what do these international students have anything to do with anything? You know what I mean? Like, not we, the people that voted for him, I don't think they voted for him thinking, well, we want Trump to be our president because we want him to revoke student visas. Like, what are we actually doing here? And this is a prime example of like education. I know our generation kind of makes it seem like, oh, what's the point of school? Who cares about school? But education is important. And this is a battle that does not need to be fought. Like, what do you mean you're trying to revoke specifically? And this is like, to me, what I find the racist part. You're trying to revoke student visas from Chinese students or students that want to come from China. I don't know what his gripe is with China, because he has made it very clear he does not mess with China. First, it was the tariffs. Out of all the other countries, he made sure China had the highest tariffs. And now he's trying to revoke student visas. I don't know what he thinks that this is gonna, what the outcome is gonna work out, but I just think the math is not mathing. And if you want to go head to head with China, you surely can. But I just don't think that it is gonna end well with America.
My whole thing, and it's like I feel like this is my whole thing with a lot of things that Trump has done. What's the reason, right? Because even like to your point where you mentioned, it was just like there are so many problems in America right now, right? Healthcare costs the arm that you're trying to get fixed. Childcare isn't worth the egg and the sperm it took to make. Like, it's just like everything is so problematic right now. You can't buy a house, groceries are barely affordable, and yet you think my concern is somebody who's coming from China trying to go to Harvard. That sounds like a concern to me. That sounds like something I'm truly bothered by. Like I don't understand the reasoning, and I already know his supporters, y'all are going to come for our necks and tell us that we're not seeing the vision, we're not seeing the bigger picture. Please get a notepad, get a marker, a pencil, sketch it out for me, draw it for me. Tell me what the bigger picture is. Tell me how revoking the visas for students that are trying to come from China or hear from China or whatever it is, how is that going to help me purchase my first home? How is that going to lower the price of eggs? How is that going to get me my Sheen package quicker? Like, please, I mean, and I'm genuinely asking, please help me understand,
Yeah.
because I'm my brain must not see very far.
It's pretty clear that he wants to separate the relationship between China and the United States. And again, I'm not gonna claim to be the political scientist major, but I just don't see how us complicating the relationship between China and us is going to be beneficial for us, because the reality is that China has a lot to offer that is beneficial to the United States. So I would think it would be better to find ways to mediate against them, not be trying to go head to head. You punch, I punch back, but whatever. We will see. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, finish your sentence. I just wanted to talk
Oh
about
no, I was gonna move up to the social corner. So go ahead.
I just wanted to talk about really quickly. So we've been seeing a lot of like these increased like pop-up parties happening in Jersey, right? And they've been happening at malls and like Menlo Mall, Woodbridge Mall. There was suspectedly someone that was going to happen at Bridgewater Mall. And the one that happened at Woodbridge Mall this past weekend, it happened at the carnival. So it's like somebody on social media basically said, everybody, let's meet up at this place. And like, people who are within that age group all flock to the mall. And like when they do, things get rowdy. And it's like things can get rowdy and things can get loud and there could be an abundance of people. But the problem is when fights start breaking out and then there's people who are there fearing their lives, the people who were already there, the families that were already at the carnivals, people who are already at these malls. And now they're like, oh my God. And then you get speculations of like stabbings and gunshots and stuff like that, right? I want to ask you, so we've been seeing a lot of this happening in the news, right? Do you feel like when all these kids are flocking to the mall, causing these public disturbance and things like that, even like at Seaside, they had made like this curfew for Memorial Day weekend where they said kids that are under 18, they couldn't be at the boardwalk and stuff like that, but they still saw an increase of like people being stabbed, fights breaking out, disturbances being caused, and those people were 18 and up, right? Do you feel like do you feel like this could be like a problem of parenting? Is basically what I'm trying to get at. Like, do you think this is more of a parenting problem, or do you just think like kids will be kids kind of thing?
I think it's a mixture.
Mhm.
Um, I had a very strict mom. So I know usually when after prom, you go to the Jersey Shore. Like that's a thing here in Jersey.
Mhm.
My mom, absolutely. Now, honestly, I didn't even try to ask because I already knew what it was. She was not going to
Exactly.
take with that. I think it's a mixture. Like I could have never been outside like at midnight partying. My mom was not having that. But then also, I wouldn't consider myself to be a rebellious child. I know I have friends that had very strict parents, but the kids were rebellious and they were not listening. They said, I don't care. I'm still going to be outside and I'm still going to do what I want.
Mhm.
So it could be a mixture of both. I think also this generation is worser than our generation. And I think
Yes,
it's just a
sir.
continuous downhill battle because we don't value education. There's no sense of like, you want to be a good parent, right? Especially like, oh no, we don't hit kids, we don't do this, like the very nice parenting. But
Mhm.
I just feel like nice parenting gets to just a point. You know what I mean? Like we need to find better ways because disrespecting your parents is not the wave. And I know, when you're a younger parent, you want to have that great relationship with your kids, but you need to set some sort of boundaries for your kids to understand that, yes, I love you, but because I love you, I need to discipline you.
Yeah. I agree because like we were having this conversation at my job and I was like saying I was like I think another problem is this idea and concept of gentle parenting. I will tell you this right now. I'm not I don't even see myself trying to be a gentle parent. Like I'm not going to be like little Kobe, sit down please. Please don't touch that. Please da 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 da. Oh, put it down. Like I don't why do I have to keep repeating myself? Put it down. Like I just feel like you mentioned, I feel like especially as people are having kids, I mean, I feel like I'm saying people are having kids younger, but like I feel like it's different from back then and now because there was more of a push for you to get married, have kids. Like more of like the family structure. I feel like now we don't really have that as much. And as we see younger people having kids, it's more like I'm trying to be friends with my kids instead of actually trying to parent them, discipline them, actually guide them. Like the world is your oyster. The world can be your oyster, but you can also understand why you need to stay in your shell. Sometimes stay within the family dynamic, stay with like, take the rules and things that I'm feeding you, type of thing. So I just thought it'd be interesting to ask because I see a lot of people blaming it on parenting. I see a lot of other people saying that kids just don't have structure. And I agree with you. I just think it's like a variety of things all together where it's just like, ew. And I remember when teachers used to be saying this on TikTok, like the teacher TikTokers or whatever like that. They used to be like, y'all don't parent your kids. These kids have no respect. They have no manners. They don't know how to conduct themselves outside of their parents, like being around them. Like y'all don't know how to act, y'all don't know how to read, y'all don't know how to write, y'all don't know how to think like common sense. And so I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah. So comment down below. Do you think if you have kids, tell us, are you pro gentle parenting? If you don't have kids, tell us in the comments, do you plan to be a gentle parent? But on that note, we talked a lot about harsh things. So now let's get into our social corner.
Yes.
So if you are new here, this is our social corner where we discuss all the topics that we have been seeing on our social media and we try to keep it short and sweet, but listen, this is a too much podcast. So we supposed to be like 2-3 minutes, but we're going to try to do our best to cover all the topics in a short amount of time. So this week on social media, at least my side of TikTok, was all about Streamer University. And if you don't know what Streamer University is, it was a fake university that was put together by Kaicenat. Here he is on the left. Well, my left, it might be your right. I don't know. To your left, that's Kaicenat. And then to your right are all the content creators that attended Streamer University. And the whole goal of that was honestly to just bring together all streamers, Twitch streamers, content creators, and kind of like grow your brand. And what I found funny was like a lot of the creators were either Black or Latinos, right? Well, actually, I'm lying. There was a few white people there, but I guess someone was mad about that, and someone said, "Oh, now all of a sudden, yeah, care about DEI." That was funny. But anyways, I want to talk about number one? How do you feel about streaming? Do you think you could go live, right? Like stream your whole life for 3 days straight, morning to night. How do you feel about that?
Um I feel like I'd be a little hesitant, but once I
Mhm.
start seeing how the money start rolling in, oh baby, all hesitation will go out the door. What open door policy, y'all? This is what I look like. These is the pads I like to use. These are the wipes I like to use. Baby, y'all can know anything and everything. But I think also it's about the boundaries with it though, because like I get that. I think that's another problem that we also have as a society when we do see these content creators is that because they show us aspects of their lives, we feel, well, not we, but but I'm saying like people
Mhm.
feel entitled to feel like they need to know everything about their lives. There's this one TikToker who's like, she does story times on her TikTok about her own personal life and things like that. And she talked about how like she's seeing this guy and she wants to keep it a secret because in the past she's learned that just putting them on social media and then like she feels like she looks stupid when the relationship ends, and then the people are like, what happened to them? So they're like saying, oh, you need, like, she just wants to keep this relationship private. And there's people in the comments who are mad, like, you show us everything about your life and you want to keep this from us. And it's just like, there's a sense of entitlement that I need y'all to understand to get rid of. Like, yes, these people are doing it for your entertainment purposes, but they are allowed to set the boundaries that they need to set. So I feel like for me, I would be I would, if I was to ever stream, I feel like I would be that type of person. Like, I would show you aspects of my life, but I would make sure to know what I keep private and what I show.
Yeah, to me, I feel like live streaming is going to become the new generation of reality TV because during Streamer University, there was so many storylines. Like it gave Jersey Shore, TLC, like all the shows that we grew up on, especially like on MTV, like Pimp My Ride. There were so many storylines. People that like had girlfriends, but then they pulled up to this Streamer University and they were getting got at the you could see at the edge of someone else's camera that they having lunch with another girl. Everyone is so obsessed with Duke Dennis. What you feel about Duke Dennis? Because everybody is so obsessed with this man, and I just like I don't see it. I mean, he's not ugly, but like for the obsessive nature that people be on.
I like them mixed with a little bit of ugly.
Okay,
Duke
period.
Dennis, what's up with you? I mean, personally, me, I think I don't think he's ugly. Like, I'm not
No
like, nah. But like, I think it's more of the vibes he gives off. Like, there's
aura.
yeah, the aura. Like, I feel like there's always that one friend in the group who everybody automatically gravitates to, and they just got that chill aura. Like,
Mhm,
sometimes you can like be attracted to someone based off the vibes that they give rather than the looks. I don't think that he's a terrible looking man,
mhm.
but I mean,
Yeah,
for me, he don't do much for me. But I see other people who like, oh my god, I just need a
yeah.
piece of that, you know.
So I want to give a shout out to Wendy Ortiz. There was a lot of Latinos there, which I appreciate. They had a lot of Dominicans too. We stand Funny Mike. Funny Mike is literally so funny.
He was in that
He
kitchen
stayed
though.
with a meal, honey. He loved to eat, and girl, same. I'm like
Janelle.
Jalil. I'm so sorry, girl, because I'm sure you gotta be cooking all the time. He went to the cafeteria. He said, "Let me get everything."
He was terrible. And I remember there was this one angle of like Deshae got yoked up by somebody, and all you see is like there was the different angles of like somebody else like recording and like
Yeah,
seeing Deshae get yanked, and then you see it happen in the back of Funny Mike's, and Funny Mike just and he just
chomping.
eating. I was dying. That man, and he was like trying not to be friendly with nobody because he already has a past of allegations of him cheating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there was like times where like people like somebody walk up to him like, "Hi," he's like, "Don't shake my hand. Hello, what's up with you?"
Period, as it should. So I do want to just also give a shout out to kaicenat because I know he did express that it was a lot, and I have no doubt that putting all of this together took a lot of time. He mentioned like there were outlets like Netflix and Amazon that were willing to buy, you know, to stream what it was that he was doing at Streamer University. And he said, he decided not to because he understands that once you sell that IP or that idea, you no longer have a say into how it goes. And so shout out to him because he's super young and super talented. And a lot of these streamers that went to this Streamer University, they left with gaining from it, right? They left with more supporters and more fans and more money. And at the end of the day, like that was the goal and it was successful. Of course, there were hiccups and bumps. I think someone got hit with like a BB gun or whatever. There were hiccups, but for it to be the first time, I think it was a success.
And I also want to say, so there was like a whole lot of conversations, like especially when he picked the people that he picked about some of the people who were left out and stuff like that. So like I will say that made me a little hesitant to see how the project was gonna go with everything like that.
Yeah.
But after seeing the small clips that I did, I was just like, oh, like okay, like this was entertaining. Like, to your point, people left with more than they came with, right? And there were some of them who actually did take the classes that they were teaching very seriously. Like Agent was breaking down like how to.
I want to know, Agent is so smart, and the girls be sleeping on Agent.
Oh,
Miss. Oh, sometimes it's not all about the looks. Agent, out of all the classes, he was dropping gems when it came to like, you don't have to monetize this, that. Anyways, I just think he's smart, and so I'm pro education and being smart.
Yes, I think it was very entertaining. Kai, you did that. It was a very great idea. I definitely agree with him. It's like I felt like watching it, I could feel my stress levels going up if that was like, and I'm just someone watching. I couldn't imagine being the person running that. Oh, baby, y'all would have had me in the hospital for 72 hours.
Oh
like,
my
I swear to goodness.
And especially because the type of people that I feel like thrive in this like live streaming are people that are hyper. Like they be on 10 all the time. They be doing stuff. They brought this guy named Tota, which I find funny because in Spanish, if you replace that A with an O, means something completely different. But he from Brazil, and his roommate was Ray, who is also, foreign, and they both don't know English very well.
They won like roommates of like the stream or whatever like that.
Yeah, it was a whole lot. See, we already breaking the rules. We're supposed to be short, and we spent 90 years on this. So shout out to kaicenat. Hopefully we meet you one day. And
I wanted to re-ask you the question that you asked me. So do you think that you could be a streamer?
Oh, you know me. You should know the question to that. What you think?
I mean, I already know the answer is no. But
yeah, I know. I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but I just feel like never say never. But as of today, Shayla,
I think I would try it maybe one day.
Okay, one day. All right, next, make sure you're following us on TikTok too much, as because we're gonna go live there. We're gonna first start with TikTok live, and then we'll move on to streaming.
Yes,
thanks, our faith couple.
Shayla be saying some statements, man. So the next thing we wanted to talk about was Travishunter, and I'm gonna butcher her name, Leanna. I believe her name is Leanna.
Okay.
They're officially married. And if you know, in the past, we talked about how when their relationship was like really on the high. Pause.
Can I show a short little video for the people to see the nice little vibe? Anyways, let's resume.
Right. So you guys are new here, or if you are reoccurring, then you know that we had a past episode where we talked about a lot of the drama that was surrounding their relationship a few months ago, about people saying that she doesn't really want him. He needs to get a prenup, this, that, and the third. That is not the woman for him. He's going to realize that she's a gold digger. And me and Shayla's statement the whole time was their relationship has nothing to do with us, right? If he is telling us mind our business. He knows who he wants to marry. He knows who he wants to spend the rest of his life with. And regardless of them being young, he knows in his heart that this is who he wants to be with. Who are we to sit there and say anything, right? And when we said this, people still came at me and Shayla talk about some women just don't ever want to hold each other accountable. They're this, that, and the third. We're trying to save him. And my whole statement was like, are y'all Captain Save a Hoe, right? So to the same people who have all this to say about their relationship, how he doesn't need her, he could get so much better. The wedding happened. They're officially married. What do you have to say now? There's literally nothing else you could say now, right? And it's just like, y'all still, and I see the comments like to that same video that you showed. I saw that video. I looked at the comments. There were some that were positive, and there were still some that said, prenup still should have been signed. Y'all are so caught up on this man getting a prenup, and y'all was never going to get access to the money anyway. So why are y'all so worried about his bank account? I need help understanding that. And like my whole thing is, if and people are speculating now that she looked like she possibly was pregnant, and people are like, oh, she trapped him. What about this couple who literally she said they've been together through thick and thin. They've been
started dating in high school.
In high school, they've been through it all. Their families love each other, this, that, and the third. Got engaged, still all the backlash they faced, still got through that, and then had their wedding. And now they're married, and now she's pregnant, possibly, allegedly. And y'all are bothered. What about this process? Are we having a hard time understanding? Your mom didn't even marry your dad. So like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I think the main thing is we need to get out of people's business relationships. Like, they already made it clear that they love each other. And I think she was unfairly judged because the whole situation that I feel like sparked it to go times 30 is because she seemed to be very upset, and the way she was saying things kind of gave like condescending and not supporting him. I'm going to speak as someone that has a RBF face. If all you see from me is like videos of me, no audio, no context, you will think that I am the worst person to have ever walked on this earth. But Rebecca, you know me. I am super caring. Like, I'm not a sugarcoat type of girl, but I do care about people. You know what I mean? And Travis has been very open about the fact that, you know, when I get injured or when anything happens, she's the one that's with me at night. You know what I mean? She's the one that's taking care of me and cooking for me. All you see are 10-minute clips on social media, which are not real. And I keep saying that what you see on social media is not real life. People put on a facade for social media a lot of times, right? Because if they're just basic, they're not gonna get famous. So let's stay out of people's business. And if he has already made it clear that this is who I love, point blank, period. Let's say a few years from now, it turns out that she cheated or whatever. That's none of our business. He already decided that this is what he wants. And so that's what's going to happen. We wish them the best of luck.
Honestly, and I just wanted to say this last point because I know there's going to be somebody who's like, well, you guys are talking about their relationship right now. We're talking about it in terms of congratulate them, stop dissecting into their relationship. There are other people, like last week when we talked about Papoose and Remy Ma. These people literally put their business out to us so we could be involved in their relationship, right? The reason why people was talking about Travis and his girl is because other people were trying to put their business out there, not us. So it's just like, worry about what you need to worry about. If you see people, it's like, we can't say let people love who they want to love and then feel like we have all these opinions and can have a synopsis on their whole life. Like, no, if that's who he loved, if he bought her that G-Wagon or whatever the car was, let it be, let it happen. That's none of our business.
Okay. And on that point of none of our business and dating, this is as we celebrate, you know, the entering of marriage and love. We're going to move on to a social media relationship that is currently crumbling. So I don't know I've never kept up with these two social media stars, but apparently they have a large following and they were big on social media. And so this is Belgium social media star wizardliz. I'm gonna put up a photo because if you're like me, I'm a visual person. Not that one. Here it is. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Here we are. So this is the couple to the left, right? That's the Belgium social media star wizardliz accused her now ex-fiance, which is the man in the back, Landon Nickerson, of cheating. The claims were first made through an Instagram story posted by Liz. Liz revealed the couple had parted ways as a result of a secret Snapchat she learned about that Nickerson was using to talk to another woman. Keep in mind, she is 4 months pregnant with his child, and she promised to sell the 100,000 engagement ring he proposed to her with. And the gaggiest thing of it all is one of her last posts on Instagram was of the gender reveal of the child that she is carrying. This is it right here. How do you feel about that? You just found out that you're pregnant. You just did a gender reveal. We're having a boy, and then you find out that he is cheating on social media. And this is a screenshot. Let me read a little bit of it that she posted on her Instagram. It says, because people were claiming that she was like lying about it for social media, and she was like, I will never ever create a fake narrative for social media. I will not preach something and not take the advice myself. Landon decided to make a Snapchat account and reach out to a girl to meet up. He was just with me in London, made a whole book about how much he loves me. Anyways, the girl reached out to me, to my friend. He called the relationship fake. Meanwhile, my cats are with him in Dallas. All my stuff is there in our apartment, and I'm 4 months pregnant. Men are, what would you do in that situation? You 4 months pregnant, you having this man's baby boy, and you just found out that he is cheating with you using Snapchat.
I think situations like this get very, very tricky because, of course, as as most people, I could sit here right now and tell you crash out, but that's me thinking as somebody who isn't 4 months pregnant, and I don't have anybody else to think about but my own emotions. I think for her, and I'm trying to put myself in her predicament, now you have to move cautiously for you and your child. The moment you start trying to exert so much anger, this, that, and the third, one, your child might come out looking like that man. And two, like, you have to realize that your body is a vessel right now for you and your child. You, especially if you really do want to have that child and everything. I know Shey,
That's easier said than done.
it's very easier said than done, but I'm saying you got to move strategically and smart, right? You have to think about, this is not just you anymore. You and your fiance ended. Y'all were going to bring a child into this world. Now you got to move like a mother. You got to move like you thinking for your child in advance.
I just want to say, women get a lot of backlash because, oh, you a hoe, or you a gold digger, or you're this, or you're that. Or, when you're walking across the street, men like to catcall and say rude things. And women are always so tense because the reality is that the track record for men in 2025 is trash. So my automatic thinking is that you're lying, you're gonna cheat on me. Like, I don't think nothing nice. And I know that that is not okay because there are great men out there. But the reality is that all I see is men not being good, because cheating is unacceptable, period. But we just had a gender reveal. We are just celebrating me bringing life into this world, your child. And you have the nerve to be on Snapchat talking to other girls? Are you okay? Okay, and I understand Rebecca's talking about some, oh, you got to think about your child, which 1,000%, but you have to have some audacity to
Oh,
do
girl.
something like that. And as men, like men need to figure something out, because this is exactly why women move the way they move. And I'm not saying it's okay, but it is, mind you, you're a social media, like all your business is out there. People know, like, I just say God forbid,
I
because
agree with you. And my whole thing is, right, I feel like, to your point, it's very easy to see a lot of negative in relationships, especially on social media. That's what's going to get you the clicks. That's what's going to get you the views. And we don't see that many couples who are positive or showing like them flourishing. And if we do, we automatically assume they doing it just for content, right? So it's like there needs to be a happy medium, a balance or something. I don't know what it is, but to your point, audacity is at an all-time high. Just today, I've seen a couple talk about how her husband was cheating on her with a younger woman and wasn't supporting her, this, that, and the third, and she left with her and her kids. I just saw another lady talking about how she found out that her boyfriend was sleeping with his grandmother. Like, it's like every day I sit there and I'm like, and I thought I had problems.
listen, 2025 dating relationship must be studied. So on that, comment down below how you would feel if that was your truth, because all I say is, God forbid, and I'm sending all the best wishes and the peace of mind, because she's gonna need all the mental support she can get. On that note, next,
Right.
Hailey
So
Rebecca.
Haileybieber, we talked about her last week about how, the whole drama about her getting on Vogue, this, that, and the third, just to say whatever, right? So the recent update, positive stuff for her is
Mhm.
Hailey Bieber sold her skincare and beauty brand Rhode to Elf Beauty in a deal valued at $1 billion. So Haley will remain the chief creative officer and head of innovation at Rhode, as well as work as a strategic advisor for Elf. In her personal post, she reflected on how much she's achieved with her skincare brand since launching in 2022 and why teaming up with Elf was a good fit. So when I saw this, I sent this to Shayla. I said, "Ooh, okay, go ahead, girl." I just hope Justin Bieber stay off the internet. Congratulate her in private. Don't post nothing. You embarrass this girl anytime you open your mouth. Anytime them fingers.
He did congratulate her, but he just reshared a post.
That's all you needed to do. That's all I need you to do. I don't need you to say nothing else. And like, and what's crazy? What's even worse about it is like, I saw this, like I saw the post, I looked at the comments, and people were still talking about what your man said about you on that Vogue cover 2 weeks ago, right? They're still saying congratulations. I hope this was a better congratulations than what your husband gave you. Like, I'm seeing posts like and comments like that, and I'm
Mhm.
like, dag. It's like for the other topic we just talked about. You gotta be careful who you have kids with, who you marry, because sometimes your worst enemy is who you sleep in the bed with. Like,
Girl, but the trust issues run strong, because you could be with someone for 20 years and then they turn out to be different. Like, it's just super scary. I want to say, listen, I'm always pro someone getting a bag. This is the fact that her company or her brand was sold at $1 billion and it hasn't even been out for 5 years is insane. I'm never gonna knock anyone for, growing and getting a bag, but we also cannot deny that the fact that she is who she is, her status, that just her being her, and because her products are being used on social media, is because that's the reason why her company is valued at $1 billion. Because no tea, no shade, I am pretty sure that there are small owned businesses that have way more to offer, that are better, and they just will never be valued at $1 billion because of who the owner is. But again, like, I don't want this to come off as like I'm knocking it, but I just feel like it's something that should be mentioned. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm waiting for Uncle Funky's daughter to get $1 billion deal.
No, honestly, there's so many brands. Like when I saw this, I'm like, honestly, it's tied. Like her last name being Bieber definitely has some influence. Her father being having the status that he does has something to do with it. I think she would have got to a $1 billion. Somebody would have purchased her company, period, just because of name and recognition alone. But
Yeah.
like you said, I'm not going to knock nobody's hustle because we've talked about in the past. If that could be me and my parents had the status, I promise you I'll
Period.
be having a $1 billion company too. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that for free.
And the last point I want to make is one, I hope it stays affordable because Elf to me is known as like affordable cosmetic brands. And I don't know if Rhode was seen as that. So we
You
hope
see
the
this
prices.
eyeliner? Elf. Love it down.
There you go. We hope the prices stay the same, but also I've never used the products, but clearly they're good if the people are buying the brand for $1 billion.
Yeah.
So next, Deanna, this is for you. Deanna is a friend. So, and the Annabelle doll has went missing, or so-called. That's what the people on social media have been saying. If you don't know, the Annabelle doll is this doll right here, and she is a part of the Conjuring movie franchise, right? It's like supposed to be the scary doll, boom, boom, boom. And I don't know why in the world why this doll on a tour. A demonic doll is on a tour. America has a problem. But anyway, she on a tour and people on social media were spreading misinformation saying that the doll has been missing. She went to Chicago and now we can't find her. Child, that's a lie. The doll is very much so has not gone missing. So as I said, the rumors prevail on social media once again. The doll is not missing. She never went missing. And according to Connecticut Insider, the New England Society of Psychic Research posted on Facebook that the doll is not stolen and is currently sitting at the Warren's Occult Museum in Monroe. The Annabelle doll is a key figure in paranormal lore and the inspiration for the Conjuring movie franchise. She's currently on a tour called, God forgive me because I just shouldn't even be saying this, but her tour is called Devils on the Run in the US. The tour, organized by the New England Society for Psychic Research and other partners, aims to showcase the doll and other haunted artifacts to sites with a historic history of paranormal activity. The tour began in May and is scheduled to continue through the summer. So I'm just like, the fact that we are giving a tour to a demonic doll is nasty work. And no tea, no shade. I'm sorry to the people that love this type of stuff. I truly wish she did go missing because we should not be. What?
Nah,
Why is this even a thing? Like, we need to. I think that's why we have so many problems. Instead of looking for God and things like this, we out here giving a tour to a demonic doll. What is the problem?
First off, you're tripping. You talk about you wish the doll went missing. No, I need that doll's whereabouts to be accounted for at every stop, every location of every minute of every hour, because absolutely not. Yeah, I saw people like, I saw one person start talking about the, like, Shayla and I talk about our feeds are very different.
Yeah.
So like for me, it just started popping up, and I was just like, I saw people like doing like the prank call where they like call their friends. They're like, I'm signing us up to go look for the Annabelle doll. And I'm like, I couldn't get that call. Like if Shayla was like, ring a ding ding, Rebecca, I need you to help me find the Annabelle doll. Shayla will tell you, listen, I already am not a movie girl, but I don't do horror movies at all. And if I watch a horror movie, it gotta be between the time of 1 p.m. and it gotta end by 5 p.m.
The sun gotta be out.
Okay, because I am not playing those games. I am not I'm too Haitian for that. Okay.
Yeah, we want no part of the Devils on the Run
I
tour.
rebuke. Okay. Like I said, make sure y'all keep this doll under lock and key. Make sure y'all got your eyes on it. And then those eyes that are on it, make sure there's some backup eyes on it too. Because I'm not playing. No, keep it where it's at. I don't.
So We're with God. This is a God podcast, honey. We want no parts with the Devils on the Run tour.
Okay, let me squat
Next,
with an L. Okay.
this is a hard left turn, but we must discuss this because you can't make this stuff up. We talked about all the different types of relationships, but now we're gonna talk about a brokey. Brokey. And listen, I never like to clock other people's money, but one thing about, like, I hate people that try to put up a front. So I'm saying all of this to say that Offset the rapper, honey, the one that be with the heavy chains, I got money, the girls, boom, 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 boom. He has now, right? He's currently trying to get a divorce from Cardi B. And he has put an amendment in the divorce where he is seeking spousal support from Cardi B. You can't make this stuff up. This is a report from TMZ. I'm going to read a little bit of it. It says the rapper filed an amended divorce response earlier this month in which he's now asking that Cardi pay him spousal support. He does not request a specific amount in the documents. However, Offset filed for the joint custody of their kids and to pay their own legal fees. So at least the money seemed like it was working out fine. Worth noting, Cardi B is reportedly worth somewhere between 80 and 100 million, while Offset's reportedly worth closer to 30 million.
So when I saw that, Shayla, when you sent it to me, the first thing that came to my mind is like that people always say there is nothing like a scorned woman, but there is nothing like a scorned serial cheater, narcissistic, manipulative man. I'm telling you that for free, right? Because I don't care what nobody says. People want to sit there and be mad about, especially a lot of men. They're mad about Cardi because they're saying, "Oh, she has sex with another man when she was pregnant." Okay, and this man has cheated on her multiple times between the first child, the second child, and the third. So it's just like, to me, right? Nothing you say really matters, and whatever happens to you, you deserve, because karma is karma, and you will reap what you seek, right? So it's just like, y'all are going through a divorce. You're clearly moving on because you posted you with other females, you doing this, you doing that, clearly just for show. Cardi B been out here living her life. I'm not saying she's with Stefon Diggs, and we will talk about him a little later on in the show. But like, I'm not saying that they're together or anything like that, but they have been seen out. You can assume what they are doing, having fun. She's living her life, doing what she does best. And you proceed to sit there and make sure that you have connection to this woman. Not only do you just have connection with this woman through kids, but you want to make sure that she pays you, because you want to make sure that you take more from her. Not only have you stressed, it causes this woman stress and anguish in life, but you want to make sure that she helps facilitate your lifestyle as well. Oh, baby, see me in court today.
Like,
Today.
you are literally the reason why we are going through this divorce. And now that you see that I actually don't care about you anymore, or at least in terms of like love life, I feel like he's doing this to press her buttons
Of
because Cardi
course.
B is known to go off. She from New York, when she from New York, New York. You know what I'm saying? She got her history. If you know Cardi B from the beginning days, like when she was a stripper, she don't play. She will throw that bottle out at you. She will clap back. And now that he sees that Cardi B is moving, how she moving, she not giving him the time of day. He's trying to get her to pop out and do something that is going to end up, hurting her in the long run. And I hope that she doesn't allow it to get to her, because the audacity of this man that likes to claim this rap life and I'm the manly man and I'm this and I'm a provider, and now you turning around and asking for spousal support. Be for real. Because also, no tea, no shade, if you continue to put out music, no one can see you the same in the rap game. You out here with a woman giving you spousal support. Be for real. Be for real.
Yeah, and
That's
my whole thing
embarrassing.
is like, asking for spousal support, sir. Seek you some mental counseling. Like, you need mental help. And personally, if it was me, you would have kept playing with me, and I would have had you ended up seeing physical therapy, because baby, baby, please keep it cute. Like, what are you talking about? And I think we also have to remember, and I feel like we say this every time we talk about people and their drama, especially when it comes to relationship. Y'all have kids. You have kids. Like, worry about how y'all can divvy things up so you can provide for your child in the healthiest way, and that she can provide for her children in the healthiest way as well. You have other kids as well, and I ain't never seen you put that much energy to none of them other baby mamas. But to Cardi, you want to have all this energy, and I'm not even a huge Cardi B fan like that, right? I see her, she's funny, I chuckle sometimes, and I go about my day. But I think at the end of the day, you really have to like understand that we are in this predicament because of you, not because of me. You gave me the actions and now I'm moving accordingly, and you don't like that. So it's like, to me, it's like, what if she gives you spousal support? What you gonna do next? What's the next thing you gonna try and do? Because what if she's like, okay, whatever,
I
bye?
don't think he actually wants the money. I think he's trying to press her buttons,
Of
and
course.
I hope that Cardi B is able to stay composed and not give him what he wants. And on that note, let's move on to our sports corner, because honey, there's another man in the sports that cannot contain himself.
Tell him this, did he miss? Junior want to not be on my
Like we mentioned, we are too much. So, of course, what's the next thing on our too much list? And that is sports. So, we're going to talk about the NBA playoffs. And currently, we are in the Eastern Final Conference is left. The Western Conference Final, it was OKC versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, and OKC ended up winning. I believe it was 4-1. Minnesota Timberwolves only won one game, right? So Shayla and I were talking, and I was basically reiterating what I said in last week's episode, basically that when people say like they throw Ant's name into being the face of the NBA, I always think it's premature, because the reason why LeBron and Stephen Curry have been the faces of these leagues for as long as they have, even Kobe, even Michael Jordan, like, is because they've shown a level of consistency, and they show how important they are to the team, right? I feel like I have seen so much inconsistency. Girl, this word is tearing me up today.
It's different, but we will prevail.
We will prevail. Okay. So I feel like I have not seen a level of consistency from him that would, in my mind, make me think he is the face of any league, right? I feel like people think he's funny, and because of the personality he has that I don't give a F personality. He says what he wants, says what's on his mind. His personal life is trash, but people think that his antics is so funny and hilarious and things like that. So it's like people like boost him up, which is why he has like this big popularity. But in terms of his game, I'm not saying he's not a great player, but to what people are trying to make it seem like, he's not. They need a different player that the offense can run through, because I don't think it's him. He has way more bad games than good. Sometimes he'll have that one spectacular dunk, and that one dunk is just one of his 16 points like throughout the whole game.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think he still is young. Like
Yeah.
he has a lot to grow, and that's just his truth right now. But I'm sure in a few years from now, like he can be that great player. But I just feel like the talk sometimes does not match the actions. And if you want to go up to Obama and talk about I'm the best and I'm boom, 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 you are setting yourself up to deliver to that.
Right. And I remember Shayla and I were on the phone, and like we saw what the game 4 was like, where he had like, I believe he had like 42 points. Like he was on fire. He was doing that. But I said the thing that we need to question for him is the consistency. Is he going to show up like that in game 5? Baby, by the third quarter, I think me and Shayla on the phone, it was like 36-73, and I couldn't believe it. I said, Shayla, ain't no way.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. But to be fair, OKC is a very good team. So
Yes.
like I get it. But again, if you want to claim that you are the god of basketball, you are going to be held to a different standard, because the Nuggets lost, but Jokic delivered. He didn't have his best playoff season. You know what I'm saying? Like he has had better playoff games, but Jokic will deliver day in and day out. You know what I mean? Like if he's not scoring, he's gonna help out in other ways. And also, to be fair, Anthony has been dealing with a lot of injuries. Like he was always going back to the training room, and I'm sure that did mess him up. Like if you're in the zone and now you got to go back and get treatment and boom, boom, boom. All we're saying is that he has a bright future ahead, but currently I just don't think that he is capable of being the face of the league, and that's okay. He's young and there's a lot of room for growth.
Definitely. The next thing we want to talk about, right?
Girl.
My Knicks. Okay, so yesterday was game 5, and before yesterday's game, and I'm talking about Wednesday. No, yesterday was Thursday. Duh, Rebecca, get it together. Okay, Thursday's game, the series was 3-1, right? And we was already stressed because I was like, oh my God, my Knicks, like, what are y'all doing? Like, come on, come on, come on. Right? Yesterday, my Knicks came out and they played with the desperation that I needed them to play. Cat, he played great. Brunson played great. The defense was on 10,000. Halliburton, him and his them big bulging eyeballs, they was like, they only had 8 points or whatever. And he was walking off the court like he was SGA, smirking, smiling, everything like that. Can't stand him. Okay. But as a Knicks fan, I am hopeful. I have always been hopeful. I know some people are like, they're counting them out. I already said I thought that they would win in 6. Clearly, my calculations were wrong, and I believe they can win in 7. Right? So their next game they play is on Saturday. And one message I will give. Cat. The stupid fouls need to stop. You are too important and too essential to the offense to be committing dumb fouls consistently.
Honestly, that's a part of his game though. Like he was like that in Minnesota, and it's just like,
okay, but lessons learned. You in Minnesota, you barely got close to the finish line. You are almost there. We literally can keep pushing, but you need, like, whenever he goes to the bench, that's when they start doing more with like I'm talking about in terms of the Pacers. When Karl Anthony Towns gets into his now my bracelet stuck with my hair. When Karl Anthony Towns goes to the bench, that is when, like, the Pacers, they start to get this, like, they get all this energy. They start scoring. They start shooting threes. Because now there's a momentum shift. They know one of the star players is on the bench. He can't play right now. He can't do nothing but watch. And now the momentum swings in favor of the Pacers. You cannot keep committing stupid fouls. Brunson has been doing amazing during this series. And I know, like, he's going through his own injuries. He's bumps, bruises, but it is the playoffs. You play through them. Karl Anthony Towns was questionable on Thursday. He played. Even though he had a sore knee, I think it was a contusion or something like that, you played. But one thing you also did was commit stupid fouls. Early in the 3, you were sitting on the bench with 4 fouls. The Pacers make a run. And what do we talk about? Leads are hard to keep, especially in the NBA playoffs. We have talked about that. The amount of times the Pacers got close by like 10 points, 12 points.
No lead is safe in the game. No lead. I feel like I gotta be up 100, and even still, I'm like, oh no, they're gonna come back.
Exactly. But
so we will see where they land. Good luck to the Knicks, and by next episode, we will know who makes it to the finals.
I just want to say real quick, Spike Lee, I need to know what the Knicks side of your closet looked like. Yesterday, he had him an orange and blue pinstripe blazer. I need that. I need that today. Let me know the details. I need that. I love his Knicks attire. I know I probably can't afford it, but one could dream in their mind.
Hello, I'm glad you like it. What I saw on social media was not, people was not a fan of that.
Girl, it's because he paired it with some matching pants and stuff. Me, I will open that blazer, wear a white, I would eat it down. Okay.
All right. So now let's talk about NFL. I'm sure there's a lot of other NFL stories, but I want to focus on this NFL story because men. So Stefon Diggs, who is now a part of the New England Patriots, right? He was seen during Memorial Day weekend on a boat, and he passed along a little Ziploc looking baggie that had a pink powder substance. Let me play the clip for y'all. So in the video, they blurred out the baggy, but clearly it did not look like anything that was good. And he is a part of the NFL. And when you are a professional athlete, there are certain standards that you need to uphold. You know what I'm saying? Drugs. There's just certain things that you just can't not do. And so I'm just like, what is the reason? Over some vagina? Like, you are about to, I'm not gonna say he's gonna lose his career, because the coach did say, like, we are aware of the video, boom, 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 and this may land nowhere. But just the fact that you even put yourself in a predicament where your career can be in danger is just like, you put so much work to get to the NFL. Why would you put it in jeopardy? Why? Like, what?
My whole thing is, right, when I saw this clip, the first thing I said was like, it's like I always ask the question, how stupid can you be? But every day somebody outdoes the level of stupidity I think they can reach, right? And it's just like, one, you already know you are an athlete. Two, you know wherever you go, the hoochies, the mamas, the thirsties, they follow you. Also, what follows you? Cameras. People are looking at you for their next come up. You have to be diligent in how you move. You can't just do anything you want. And I understand Stefon Diggs, like, he's known as that like playboy player. People just look at him. He could do whatever he wants. He smile, give off the charm and everything like that. But that can get you but so far, right? Pulling out this thing, mind you, he look at the camera too. That's what like, you look at the camera, they look at the camera, y'all are all aware. It's like you just don't care. And it's like, to me, if you don't care when something happens to you, and let's say, right, the NFL, I already know nothing's gonna happen. Look at half the stuff they let pass. And if they sat there and they tried to come
Yeah,
at,
they got abusers just
right,
there. So
right,
this is
like,
bottom of the barrel.
like, y'all, the regulations y'all got is in hell. Okay.
Mhm.
So I don't think anything's gonna happen to him, but I just think from a mindset standpoint, you need to move smart. You need to move diligently. You can't just do whatever you want, because people are looking to either take your spot, look at you for a come up, or look at you for a payday, right? You don't know who could have sold that footage to whoever just to show people you in a negative light. Like, you can't just be moving however you want. Like, come on. Come on.
And it's just also for the women, stand up. Like,
You
you
can
know
get
how dumb you look. Like, it's just have standards for yourself. Well, actually, I don't get it, but I know there's just some women that just want to be dating an athlete and they want it so bad that they would do anything. They're just like, oh, what do you want me to call you? Like, it's just, I get cringe just looking at that, because I'm telling you, for free 99, that could never be me.
but
I
like, that's,
am the prize. I'm not about to be what? I don't know what. Again, we don't know what was in that little baggie, but just the way they was moving is just like, he's not gonna take you serious. If anything, he just wants vagina and out. So what? Like, why would you want that for yourself?
girl,
I don't know.
coochie power, right? I think
Mm,
that's what they
mm,
say.
mm,
Coochie
mm.
got power, right? So the next thing we want to talk about briefly, and give the quick little one too, is Zion Williamson, right? So
Let me share this I'm gonna share my screen with the story, because this
mhm,
literally broke not too long when we started recording. So I'm sharing my screen. Let me know, Rebecca, if you can see.
yes, while you show, I'll read from my phone also, because
Okay.
girl cannot see. Okay, so Zion Williamson is sued for allegedly rape. Well, let me start over. Zion Williamson sued, allegedly raped, kidnapped, and terrorized ex, right? So a woman claiming to be one of Zion's ex has filed a lawsuit against the NBA star alleging he raped, kidnapped, and terrorized her on multiple occasions throughout their years-long relationship. The explosive suit, which has been obtained by TMZ Sports, was filed in Los Angeles on Thursday by a Jane Doe, who says she began dating Williamson in 2018 while he was playing for the Duke men's basketball team. The woman alleges that in 2020, a little over a year after Williamson left the Blue Devils to join the New Orleans Pelicans, the basketball player raped and assaulted her in Southern California. According to the suit, the violent incident took place on September 23. I said 23rd, 2020, after the woman had gone to Williamson's Beverly Hills home. The accuser says that she told Williamson that she was tired and wanted to go to sleep, but he called her stuck up and bitch and told her she could not go to sleep without having sex with him. Williamson then allegedly pinned her down on the bed and sexually assaulted her. Afterward, the lawsuit states Williamson took her phone, threw it, and then choked her and screamed at her for talking too much. The woman alleges Williamson emitted an odor of alcohol throughout the encounter. Days later, on October 10th, 2020, the accuser alleges Williamson raped her again after he got angry that she wanted to leave him to visit her friends in San Diego. According to the suit, Williamson took her phone, laptop following the sexual assault, preventing her from getting medical care. These two incidents were not isolated. The lawsuit states Williamson continued to abuse, rape, and assault the batter plaintiff in California and in other states, including Louisiana and Texas, until their relationship ended in 2023. The lawsuit states that Williamson strangled the woman with such force that she reasonably feared for her life and eventually lost consciousness multiple times between 2020 and 2023 in California and Louisiana. The woman also claims that Williamson threatened to have his security guards shoot her in the head multiple times. She alleges Williamson threatened to have his security kill her parents as well. During one 2022 incident in Louisiana, the lawsuit states Williamson pointed a loaded firearm at the woman's head, causing her to reasonably fear for her life. And it basically just goes on from there, and they just keep talking with quotes and everything like that. But y'all get the gist of it, right? So we have talked about Zion Williamson in the past, right? And we have talked about how he is not worth the trouble, one, because he can't not be injured. This is not the first scandal that he's been a part of. He was in a scandal before with, I believe it was like prostitutes, and he ended up having kids with one or impregnating three at the same time, something along the lines of that, right? And I just feel like we are in the season of lawsuits. We are in the season of people speaking out against their abusers and bringing it to the attention and to the forefront. Now, we are a podcast who says, wait for the court case to happen, see what details are presented before we sit there and make any claims or judgment against anybody. If you don't believe that, I'm sorry, we may not be the podcast for you. But here, we believe in listening to all the facts first. And right now, the fact of the matter is TMZ just released this. We don't know what Zion has said. I'm sure more details will pop out later on as this case continues. We do see, though, consistently that when cases like this happen, and I saw one post that did post it, and somebody said she stayed with him from 2020 to 2023, she's a liar. I don't think you guys understand how fear works, especially when the threat of your life and the threat of your family's life is presented, right? You go into survival mode. And when you go into survival mode, what survival mode means is I'm going to do whatever allows me to stay safe and to live through this experience, right? And when you are in the mindset or convince yourself that you love somebody, you make excuses for them that make you feel like you shouldn't leave them yet, right? So I just feel like people need to not letting their preconceived notions like get in the way of them, but look at things morally. And people have a different moral compass. I understand that. But like morally, you have to understand that like if somebody is expressing abuse, rape, kidnapping, terrorism, and stuff like that to you or stating this is happening to them, sit down and listen.
Yeah, and I think also, again, as a generation, we need to stop normalizing these types of situations. And this is going to be like just specifically talking to women, to us, because I think I do believe that love is blind. And I think sometimes when you are in love, you let a lot of things slide in the name of love, but that is not love. True love will not hurt you. True love will not put a hand on you. Like, that is not love. And you need to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do not, it's, again, I know it is easier said than done, but if a man puts his hand on you, you need to go. It's not like, oh, well, it's a one-off thing. As soon as you come back, that is opening the gates for, in that relationship, for it to seem like it is okay. Oh, she'll come back. She came to me last time. I don't care if it's a push, and make it very known as soon as you get into a relationship. I don't mess with none of that. I may do a little pillow fight with you, but after that, if I say stop and you keep you know what I'm saying? Boundaries. I don't play that. And the same is vice versa, because I know there are some women that are, abusive and will put hands. No, that is not acceptable. If you feel like you need to leave and gather yourself before we can talk about a topic, say that. Be like, listen, babe, I can't talk to you right now. When I get myself settled, we'll come back and we bring the conversation back, because that is not love. Putting your hands on people. And also, I feel like when it comes to sex and relationships, it is going to feel better if both people are consenting. Like, I don't know what it is with like this whole notion of like forcing people to love you and to do things when they don't want it. Like, that is not what it was meant to be. Like, that's supposed to be something sacred that you both enjoy, not something that's forced.
But I think it's because some people do, like, they get turned on by that idea and that
Well, that's
fact that
abuse, and
control.
we need to do that.
I understand that, and I think it's like there's something mentally wrong with you for sure. And to your point that you made, like, we're not making any type of excuses for anybody. And I'm saying this is abuse in a relationship when it comes to men and women, whatever it is, it should not happen, right? And the moment something like that happens in a relationship and you decide to forgive them, I need you to understand the moment you forgive them, you show them the behaviors you will allow. You have to set the boundaries. And I know that's very easy to say as people who aren't in that predicament, who, like, I'm not about to sit here and victim shame at all, but I'm just saying, like, you have to understand what you allow is what will be a continued and learned behaviors. So if you want change, either remove yourself from the situation or tell them, like, I'm not doing this with you again. And if it does happen again, make sure you put your words into action.
And also, Zion, as like the NBA player, he has been in the news and headlines for everything but the NBA. So it's like, this is a track record. We don't know, again, like, this is a new allegation, a new lawsuit. But the reality is that as a franchise, is this who you want to be the franchise player? Let alone he hasn't really played a full season ever since he got drafted. But also, it's like, if you know that you're on the hot seat and you're also not doing anything to actively get better, and if you are doing it, well, clearly you need to do more, because all we see is you getting a new tattoo, not that you're working towards getting better at your craft. And it's like, okay, it's cute that when you come back you have 2 good games, but it gets to a point where, is it worth it?
And also, I just need the NBA and NFL to, like, really help me understand what's the criteria that y'all have for players. Like, what is the, like, because like I
There
said,
is none.
the limit is in hell. Y'all, y'all, it doesn't take much. I mean, actually, it doesn't take anything at all for y'all to sit there and, like, say, okay, we're gonna launch. And if y'all do launch your own investigation, everything come out fine and dandy. Like, we need to stop looking at these people of power as just people of power and start holding them to realistic moral standards and understand that you can't do whatever you want, right? But like we said, we're definitely going to see how this court case goes. and we might find out something completely different next week, but we will keep you guys posted. Before we end the show, I just wanted to say Amani's birthday is June 4th, and I just want to say happy early birthday to you. I mean, by the time y'all see that, it might be after. But
Happy
I
birthday,
also
girl.
wanted to say happy birthday to someone whose birthday passed, and it's your cousin Shayla. She watches.
Oh, happy birthday, Natalie, girl. If you're watching, to her girlfriend. I went to visit them for Natalie's birthday. Congratulations on your house. Their house is the most Pinterest-esque house ever. The decoration, they have the vinyls, all the cutesy things. So yeah, we love you guys. Thank you for supporting. If this is your first time, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and follow us on all our social media platforms. Too Much SB. We're gonna start going live on TikTok, you guys. So please follow us on TikTok. We're gonna be live, and you can interact with us live. So you don't want to miss that. Thank you guys for supporting, and we will see you guys next Friday. Bye.